more than rather than 3,000 Nigerian migrants who unsuccessful to achieve Europe, include been delivered household by the World Organization for Migrating. Lot sold out all to do the travel and aren't certainly how to person their families, writes Colin Free. Evans William tells me he sold out all but the cuisine plunge to foundation his vision of receive to Europe. And I indicate all, his cot, his refrigerator, his TV, his replacement clothing and his portable telephone. Following loan yet more than cash money, he eventually had quite to pay a contraband mob to get him of Nigeria through the Sahara Desert to Libya. In all, it price him £750, $1,000, but he wasn't concerned. One day in Europe, he depicted, he could rapidly earn money quite to pay off his creditors, and ultimately back household to begin a industry of his their own. It didn't rather job out love how. Following 6 pathetic months in Libya, wherever the mob constrained him to job for anything, he eventually boarded up a shaky ship to crucifix the Mediterranean. It got stopped by the Libyan Coast Guard, who threw him and 140 some passengers in a arrest center. By later same-day had quite. While I met Evans' recent monthly, same-day fare refundable household to Benin town in southern Nigeria, wherever he was amongst hundreds of migrants stay in a by the government requisitioned inn. They'd been delivered behind by the World Organization for Migrating, a UN flesh how helps illicit migrants who wish to back household. As a complimentary aircraft card, they get a few nights in lodging, and £200 in pouch cash time they discover their feet. There as well proposed job learning, to offer them a superior opportunity of their livelihood. The schema is partially bankrolled by a £3BN foundation set up by the Europe Association in 2015, the year the immigrant meltdown dominated the news story. The EU hopes how by offer migrants superior prospects in their own countries, they can be convinced to keep Libya, wherever up to 700,000 are yet mined to be wait to crucifix the Mediterranean to Europe, and rotate behind. More than rather than 3,000 Nigerian migrants include already refundable, and a future 20,000 are due to do so the year. Yet for such who get up the propose, inbound behind household can be a sad expertise. Largest, love Evans, are practically deprived. And time they cherish the giving of job learning, he's quite main material, love hairdresser or sewing, or training how to farmer. For such who dreamed of manufacturing it in Europe, how's a bit of a humiliation. Which as well torment, although, is the sense how they'll be seen as failures by their peers and loved ones. Lot could just do the travel since mum and dad sold out off the household silvery. No wants to go behind without a penny, and recognize how they blew which seen, fairly or unjustly, as the opportunity of a life expectancy. Evans, for sample, doesn't though wish to go behind household, though although it may be the just location same will get a bed one day his pouch cash rest of. I yet don't he wish to remain in Nigeria, he tells me. Though following period, I'll try to go to Europe by legislative tool. Gloomier yet was Avibu, a hard-looking youthful man who was on the identical flying household as Evans. He had a crisp-looking scarring on his person, and a scowl how deepened as he talked. His mom, he told, had sold out her just story of earth to foundation his travel to Europe. He hadn't though said her he was behind. If my mum sees me she'll get patient in worry about, he told. Or all the neighbors, proverb, the boy's mum sold out her earth so he could go to Europe, and later he unsuccessful. If I listen nobody proverb how, I speak thou, I'll murder them. So which was he departure to do currently, later. So, at first I'll requirement to get my cash behind. The pouch cash I got is fair a faction of which I consumable receive to Libya. That of the learning opportunities did Avibu fantasy? Stylist. Farm. He seemed to include some job in reason. I'll see at the giving, he acknowledged reluctantly. Yet I'm concerned I'll end up making criminality to get the cash behind. Very. Which kind of criminality? Looting, perhaps. He voiced love he intended it, and I found myself wonder fair which of Ibu had made to get how scarring on his person. As we told our goodbyes, my Nigerian fellow, Peter, someone's as well a chapel minister, thick felt it was period for a speech. It was yours judgment to go, don't he accuse other, he said of Ibu. Or reconnect in yours mom, at lo she'll be lucky to listen thou'ry yet live. Will she, although 2 year back, in a immigrant arrest center in Libya, I had met an prisoner of the Gambia, who had requested me to undergo on fair such a communication to his household. While I rang them, I anticipated burst into tears of pleasure. Instead of, they had fair one issue, so which, same's not done it to Europe later.